This is Bostonian Reviews Everything, and this is an emergency review. All right. So I want to talk about Tron Ares real quick. I mean, a lot of people I'm seeing online, TikTok in general, uh, are really not liking the film, and they're almost comparing it to Madam Web, which is crazy. I've never seen Madam Web, but even the trailers were crazy. Tron Ares, when I saw it in the theater, was awesome. The Nine Inch Nails soundtrack, and a lot of people are saying this too, like the visuals and the soundtrack are great. The visuals and the soundtrack are fantastic. By the way, this is not spoilers, so I just feel like it was an emergency review incoming because I just didn't understand what people were trying to get out of this film. It's not trying to be the Matrix. I understand some people really, really love Tron Legacy. I like Tron Legacy too. I actually just recently saw it for the first time because I think one of the problems with the film as far as box office is concerned is there might not be as much interest as the studios think or someone else might think. When Tron Legacy came out, I know that I wasn't interested. I wasn't really interested in the 19, I believe, 82 film. But when I did see Tron Legacy, especially because I knew it was directed by Joseph Kosinski, who did F1 and the Top Gun Maverick, which I love, just technically I just love his filmmaking. And I was like, I gotta watch it. And then, people were like, oh, the Daft Punk soundtrack. And as soon as I turned it on, I'm like, what is going on? The soundtrack is crazy. It's amazing. And I love how the director worked in the soundtrack and worked in the visuals kind of around this great music. So I was like, well, that's what I want to see from Tron Ares. Like, I just want to see great visuals and I want to hear this great soundtrack that's going to compare to what Daft Punk was able to do, which was phenomenal. And then, so I had my expectations were on the floor. I was like, man, people aren't really liking this. Nine Inch Nails, I love. I love the band, and I love what Trent and Atticus Ross has been able to do with all their soundtracks. And all their scores are crazy. So when I went in there, and then all of a sudden, Nine Inch Nails just starts blasting. And granted, I did the Dolby theater, and I might go back and see it in IMAX 3D because I heard that was good. I definitely want to see it one more time just because there's no way I'm going to be able to blast Nine Inch Nails as loud as what I'm hearing in this theater. It's crazy. It's awesome. It's basically 2 hours of a Nine Inch Nails music video. Well, I don't want to say that because I actually didn't mind some of the themes they were exploring. I'm not going into Tron Air. I've seen The Matrix, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going into Tron Ares to see The Matrix, you know what I mean? And I'm also not going to see any kind of complex excavation of themes, you know what I mean? When I saw Eddington this year, I wanted to see what Ares' points of view were as far as the subject matter he was attacking, which is basically what are our lives like in the internet. You know what I mean? And so that's how I'm judging that film. I mean, did he explore these themes in a satisfying way for me? I mean, did he at least make a great attempt at exploring these themes, stuff like that? And by the way, I loved Eddington, but my point is, like, that's what I'm going in for Eddington for. I'm not going into Tron to get, and especially when it comes to Disney, and like, no offense to Disney, I think they've made some great stuff, but like, I don't want some corporate musing on artificial intelligence. You know what I mean? And I think thematically, I just think they did a really subtle but a really great job. And I think the director did just such a fantastic job with this, and understanding what Joseph Kosinski was able to do with Tron Legacy, and incorporate that into Tron Ares, which is awesome visuals and just like an absolutely killer score and a great time at the theater. So, emergency review. And I'm going to get to one battle after another. I think I'm still kind of like talking to people and seeing their opinions. Not that it's influencing mine, but I think it's a really interesting discussion with one battle after another. But I wanted to get Tron Ares out there before it's out of the theater, and then all of a sudden you got to watch this thing on the TV. You're doing your dishes, you're scrolling on your phone, you're barely paying attention. And again, it's not one of those films that's going to go like wicked deep into really anything. I mean, the performances are, I've heard some back and forth with that. Some of them are plastic, which is unfortunate, but it isn't really. I don't care. Like the in order to have an action sequence, the protagonist or whoever's involved in that action sequence needs a goal. And the goals were fine enough for me. It's like, okay, at least he has a goal. Let's see these great visuals and just absolutely blast Nine Inch Nails, period. That's yeah, I'm not giving it a rating or anything like that. I think it's getting unfairly abused online. And I just wanted to stake my claim that I am with the people who are loving it. You know what I mean? I am with the people who are loving it. I think I just think it's such a fun, it's probably outside of F1, I would say I really had a blast with F1. And that's the point of that film too, is just to me, I'm walking into F1. I'm like, I want to see really good technical filmmaking, meaning how they're using the cameras and all this kind of stuff. And I want to see something kind of exhilarating. Again, I'm not looking for Full Metal Jacket. I'm not looking for Doctor Strangelove. I'm looking for Brad Pitt riding around in a F1 car. Same with Tron, Ares. So those two films, as far as actually just having a really good cinematic, great time at the theater, those are the two I would put in there. They're not going to win Best Picture for me. They're not number one. They're not number one on my list, but certainly they had a great time. So you know what? I'm going to end it. I'm not going to edit this thing whatsoever. I'm going to cut right now and I'm going to upload it.